2018 is being hailed as our best tourism year. Last year, Uganda received about 1,900,000 tourists entering the country through the airport. This is the highest recorded number in our history. Wildlife tourism alone generated over 106 billion shillings in revenue. The tourism sector is the highest foreign exchange earner, and in the 2017-2018 financial year, brought in an estimated 1.45 trillion shillings. Blessed with a host of tourist attractions, Uganda is positioned to reap more from tourism this financial year. Besides the landscape attractions and national parks, a big attraction are the mountain gorillas. There are an estimated 400 mountain gorillas in Bwindi Impenetrable National Park and 604 mountain gorillas in Virunga Massif, which includes Mugahinga Gorilla National Park. Amos Wekesa, a player in the industry, believes tourism is soaring due to goodwill from the government in terms of infrastructure development. In 2016, the government hired 3 public relation firms based in North America and Europe to market Uganda as a top tourist destination.
Generally speaking, we've not seen a lot of coverage of the efforts that have been done by these PR firms. But the truth is that there is no single month that have not been bringing out journalists to write about Uganda. We used to have gorilla sales up to 40%. Right now in the high season, I think they're selling 100%. Even lodges used to operate at between 5 and 15% per year. I can tell you that we've gone to slightly above 25% throughout the year, which is extremely very good.
Annually, government pays each of these foreign firms $500,000 to promote the country, and the efforts have greatly paid off. Tourism, though, is nothing without conservation. In this year's budget, the government has allocated 179 billion shillings to the sector, of which 9 billion shillings has been set aside for conservation.
If you look at the number of elephants, number of buffaloes, number of Uganda cobs, so all these numbers have gone up. And the reason is simple. We have intensified patrolling to ensure that there is no poaching, because poaching is the biggest challenge actually to wildlife conservation.
Now, Kidepo is almost empty. If you look at places like Ajai Game Reserve, if you look at places like Katonga, you look at places like Chigezi Game Reserve, you look at Semiliki National Park, Semiliki Game Reserve, all these places are empty. Conservation is something that the government of Uganda must start reinforcing. Each time a foreigner is seeing the gorillas for 1 hour, we are paid $600. We're talking about over 2 million shillings a foreigner is paying to just see that. He's also paying another extra $600 for services, car hire, fuel, guide, accommodation per day.
Tourism officials are investing in an aggressive international and local marketing drive. A lot more, however, needs to be done. The access roads to national parks and the regional aerodromes also need to be upgraded.
On 1st of June, Air Kenya, which also owns Aerolink in Uganda, started first flights out of Masai Mara into Uganda. And we would like to see these people bring the tourists from Masai Mara into Kidepo, into Bwindi, direct without necessarily stopping in Entebbe.
We need cable cars on some of our mountains, on Mount Rwenzori. People want to come here, they want to go and enjoy maybe the top of the Mount Rwenzori at Margarita. But somebody does not have time to climb unless somebody is a mountain climber.
Political stability and the security of tourists is the elephant in the room. The country is soon heading into a campaign season with all the distractions it brings.
Last year when the Arua saga happened, the Arua challenge took place, a company like Great Lakes Safaris had to refund up to $295,000 in 1 week of chaos to clients who had already deposited the money, who were coming a year later, because people pay tourism companies a year early.
Marine tourism is also a virgin area that needs to be explored.
Marine tourism is a multi-billion business across the world, and Uganda would benefit especially from countries that have varied weather. For example, during the winter, we'd ask those guys to come and do their skiing on the water, sport fishing, cruises.
And this kind of investment cannot not only be done by government, It can be by private people. When I was in Egypt, 70% of the boats, the floating restaurants, they are owned by the private people.
Investment in marine tourism will definitely add to the billions being generated out of tourism currently. Uganda's tourism has grown by leaps and bounds, but clearly there is a lot more that needs to be done. For instance, there could be a lot of infrastructure developments on this lake, such as restaurants and canals to attract tourism. Marine tourism is the way to go this year. Gillian Nantume, NTV.